Welcome to Domain 2, Tool Design and MCP Integration. This domain covers 18% of the Claude Certified Architect exam, roughly 7 of 40 questions. You'll learn how tools work, how Claude picks them, how to design them, so Claude never gets confused, and how MCP connects the whole ecosystem. A tool is a small function that your application runs on Claude's behalf when Claude asks for it. Claude itself cannot access the internet, run code, or read files, but it can request that your app does those things by calling a tool. Every tool definition has 3 parts: the name, a short nickname; the description, the sentence Claude reads to decide when to use it; and the input schema, the exact shape of data Claude must provide. Of these 3 fields, the description is by far the most important. Claude picks which tool to use by reading descriptions, exactly like reading aisle signs in a hardware store, where a vague sign means shoppers end up in the wrong aisle. Here's the most important thing to understand about how Claude selects tools. It reads the description field of every available tool and picks the best match. That's it. Claude isn't running code or querying a database to the side. It's doing a semantic read of your descriptions. 2 tools with minimal descriptions, both saying retrieves X, look identical to Claude, like a hardware store where every aisle is labeled stuff. When descriptions look the same, Claude effectively picks at random. The fix is expanding each description to include WHY and when to use it. Now Claude can tell them apart reliably. If your logs show Claude picking the wrong tool, the first fix is always expanding the tool descriptions. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol, the USB standard for AI tools. One universal plug lets any tool connect to any AI agent without custom code for every integration. An MCP server is a separate program that exposes capabilities over this standard. Plug it in, and your agent gains those capabilities immediately. MCP exposes 2 things: tools and resources. Tools are actions, verbs, things the agent can do. Resources are catalogs, nouns, data the agent can browse, like ordering off a menu versus walking into the pantry to see what's there. Claude sees tools from 3 sources: built-in tools like read and bash, custom tools your app registers, and MCP tools from external servers. Here's the key insight. Claude sees all 3 exactly the same way. Same interface, same description-based selection. It doesn't know or care where a tool came from. Task Statement 2.1 asks, do you know what makes a tool description excellent? There are 5 ingredients. 1. Purpose, state what the tool does in plain language. 2. Inputs, describe what data it takes and in what format. 3. Example inputs, show Claude what good input looks like in context. 4. Edge cases, what happens when there are no results and what are the limits. 5. Boundaries, when should Claude use this tool versus a similar one. That last ingredient matters most for disambiguation, and watch for one anti-pattern. Keyword priming. If your system prompt accidentally repeats one tool's name, it statistically biases Claude toward that tool even when another is correct. Task Statement 2.2 is about giving Claude structured error signals. Without them, Claude can't tell a temporary timeout from a permanent policy block, and it wastes time retrying something that will never succeed. There are 4 error categories. Transient, a timeout or glitch, is retryable is true, Claude should retry. Validation, bad input, is retryable is false. Claude must fix the input first. Business, a policy says no, like a refund over $500, is retryable is false. Permission, the agent lacks access, is retryable is false. Claude should escalate. The critical field is retryable. That single Boolean tells Claude whether to try again or give up. And just as important, an empty result is success, not failure. If a search returns an empty list, the tool ran correctly, there simply were no matches. A tool timeout is the real failure. Know the difference. Task Statement 2.3 is about how you distribute tools across agents. The principle is less is more. An agent given 18 tools will pick the wrong one about 30% of the time. Split the same tasks across agents with 4 to 6 scope tools each, and selection accuracy improves dramatically. For tool choice, there are 3 modes: Auto, the default, where Claude decides whether to call a tool at all; Any, where Claude must call some tool; and Forced, where Claude must call one specific named tool. The exam will ask, how do you guarantee classify document runs first? The answer is forced tool selection, not auto, not any. And for scoped access, each sub-agent should only get the tools for its role. A web researcher gets search tools, a document analyst gets file tools, and a synthesis agent gets neither, since giving it web search would waste token searching instead of synthesizing. Task Statement 2.4 covers how to configure MCP servers in Claude Code. There are two places to put the configuration. .mixpdeution at the project root is team scope. It gets committed to Git, and anyone who clones the repo automatically gets those servers. Use it for standard team tools like Jira or GitHub. ~/.claude.json in your home directory is user scope. It lives on your machine only and is never committed. Use it for personal or experimental servers. For secrets, like API tokens, never put the actual value in .mcpjson. Instead, write $brace Jira token in the config, and each developer sets that environment variable on their own machine. The config can be safely committed, and the secret never touches Git. Finally, when agents need to browse a large catalog, like 800 open Jira tickets, expose it as an MCP resource, not a tool. Resources let the agent browse directly without a chain of exploratory tool calls. Task Statement 2.5 asks, do you know the 6 built-in tools and when to use each one? Read reads a file's contents. Write creates or completely overwrites a file. Whatever was there before is gone. Edit makes a surgical change by finding a unique snippet and replacing it. The catch is the snippet must appear exactly once. Bash runs a shell command. grep searches file contents for text, like Ctrl+F across an entire folder tree. glob finds files by name pattern. It lists file names. It does not open them. The confusion point everyone hits is grep versus glob. grep searches what's inside files. Glob searches file names. When edit fails because a snippet appears more than once, the canonical fallback is read the whole file, modify it in the agent's reasoning, then write the updated version back. The exam tests this exact pattern. And when exploring a codebase, never read every file up front. Grep for the function name first. Get a short list, then read only those files. Let's lock in the exam day shortcuts for Domain 2. Pattern 1. Agent picks the wrong tool. The answer is always expand the tool descriptions, not few-shot examples, not a routing layer, not consolidating tools. Pattern 2. Agent retries a doomed action over and over. The answer is the error response is missing. Error category and is retriable false. Without those fields, the agent can't tell a business block from a temporary glitch. Pattern 3. Agent with 18 tools makes bad selections. The answer is reduce and scope the toolset per agent, not a bigger model, not more tokens. And for MCP config questions, team tool per user secret, the answer is .mcpjson with $brace environment variable expansion every time. Let's recap the key terms for Domain 2. Tool definition fields, name, description, input schema. Description is king. How Claude picks, it reads descriptions like aisle signs, vague means wrong picks. 5 ingredients, purpose, inputs, examples, edge cases, boundaries. MCP, the USB for AI, tools are actions, resources are browsable catalogs. Overlapping tools fix, rename and redescribe, or split into specific tools. Structured errors, 4 categories, each with the right agent behavior. Is retriable, the single most important field in an error response. Tool choice, auto lets Claude decide. Any forces some tool, forced forces a specific one. mcpjson versus ~/.claude.json team scope versus personal scope. And gret versus glob, contents versus names, with edit failure falling back to read, modify, write. That's Domain 2, 18% of your exam, and now you know it cold. You've covered the full foundation of Domain 2. You know what makes a tool description excellent, how MCP connects the ecosystem, how to handle errors so agents stop retrying doomed actions, how to scope tools to maximize selection accuracy, and which built-in tool to reach for. Good luck on your exam. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon so you don't miss the next one.